Have you ever been lying in bed and thought to yourself, what is wrong with me? Why can I not get the results with girls? You know, I see other guys doing it, but I just can't figure this out. You know, I don't know what I'm doing wrong when it comes to girls. So in this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what you need to be doing in order to reach your goals when it comes to your dating life. How to improve your dating life, how to get the results that you've always wanted. So getting success with girls is not something you pursue, it's something you become. It's improving yourself. That's how you're going to improve your dating life. And a lot of guys believe that, it's the chat up lines, it's having a lot of money, the sport cars, it's techniques, strategies and stuff like that. And for people that know me and for my clients, they will know that I'm a big believer when it comes to structure. Right? I believe in structure, but you could have the best structure in the world when it comes to your interactions. If you as a person are not attractive, then you're not going to get the girl, right? End of. And that's what I wanted to speak to you about in this video. I want to speak to you about how you can improve yourself, what you need to do, what you need to improve, what are the top things that you need to work on, right, to be able to attract your dream girl into your life. So now we're going to go into the top 4 things that I believe will transform your dating life, right? It will transform you to a new person that will attract the beautiful girls, right? And what I mean by that, I have to do a disclaimer here. What I'm trying to say is, when I mean the person you become, I don't mean right now I'm this super attractive guy and girls are just approaching me left and right, and I'm not doing anything. That's not what I'm trying to say here. What I mean is, you improve yourself as a person, and now when you approach a girl, when you open up a conversation with a girl, then you can attract her into your life. You can make her your girlfriend. You can have whatever you want with her, right? Build a relationship with her. And that's what I'm trying to say. So now let's go into the top 4 things. Actually, the 4th one is my favorite out of all of them. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video, because trust me, you don't want to miss that. By the way, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, because we've got amazing content coming your way. So you don't want to miss that as well. And click the like button. Number 1, it's improving your communication skills. So how do you improve your communication skills? You improve your communication skills by speaking to a lot of people, okay? And that's when cold approaching comes into play. Cold approaching is basically approaching someone that you don't know, right? And striking up a conversation with them, very simple. And it could be a girl, could be a guy, it could be anyone, right? Because all you're doing is you're improving your communication skills. So at this point, you don't need to be kind of hitting on anyone or anything like that. You're just becoming social as a person. Talking to new people is really good for improv, right? So to carrying the conversational skills, to knowing what to say when you approach a girl for the first time, or anyone, right? Actually, I'll tell you a story. I was in Lisbon, and what I was doing is I was in the street, right? Just hanging out, and I saw this guy filming some video, and I struck a conversation with him, and he ended up telling me everything I needed to know about Lisbon, right? If I didn't do that, it would have taken me weeks for me to understand everything, all the logistics, where to go and stuff like that. But just by me being social, now I got to know everything I need to know. So that's what I'm saying. Not only you improve your communication skills, you learn so much about different cultures, you learn so much about different cities. So now let's go back to communication skills. What is important when it comes to communication? It's about knowing how to have good conversations, right? Good conversational skills. So let me give you an example. One is sticking to the topic in hand. So when, for example, you open a conversation with someone, you say, let me guess, you're from, I don't know, you're from Greece. They go, no, I'm actually from Germany. Then I'm not going to turn around and say, how old are you, right? That wouldn't make sense. So this is where your conversational skills come into play. And so in that situation, you would say something about Germany, right? So now you've improved your communication skills. And not only this is going to affect your dating life, this is going to affect your work, your career, everything else. So it's good for everything you want to do in life. You know, actually, I read this article and it said people that have better communication skills actually live longer. There's a reason for you. If you want to live longer and attract all the beautiful girls in the world, then there you go. That's your number one tip. All right, number two, charisma, right? So you could have really good communication skills, but if you don't have charisma, you're not going to be able to attract the beautiful girl into your life, right? So now, how do you improve charisma? Charisma is improved by improving your voice, improving how you come across to people, right? How you behave, the way you walk, the way you speak, you know, all of these different aspects. And the way you improve that, it's by the feedback loop, right? So you approach, you get a feedback, and you realize, okay, you know what, my voice was really bad. For example, if you go to a bar and the girl goes like this, like she can't hear you, what does that mean? That means your voice is not good, right? So you need to improve that. And smiling, you know, if you approach someone and they get kind of freaked out, what does that mean? You're not smiling, right? You need to have a good smile when you approach someone for the first time. And all these different aspects that makes you more charismatic. Now, talking about how you can improve your charisma, what I wanted to share with you is when I have a client come to me for the first time, right, they'll be kind of struggling in some type of aspect in what I just mentioned, right? And I'll take them in the next few months and I will change that, right? And they'll become much more charismatic in social situations, right? And the way we do this is by getting to open conversations with a complete stranger, right? Whether it's a beautiful girl, whether it's a guy or whatever, it doesn't matter. But what does matter is how they come across to that person, right? How they see them. Because what it is when I meet a guy for the first time, I can quickly tell how attractive they are as a man, right? In the way they move, in the way they behave, in the way they talk, in the way they, you know, do everything, right? The way they walk, everything about that is charisma, right? So now, obviously, there's the other part to that affects this, which is we're going to go into number 4, right? And now we're going to move into number 3. So number 3 is your grooming and fashion. This is extremely important because when someone meets you, they don't know you as a person. What they see first is how you look. They'll look at you, they'll scan you, like, okay, you know, they kind of look like this. They're well groomed, so they must be a high value person. Obviously, I'm not saying you should buy the most expensive clothes and, you know, you shouldn't get a haircut like every 3 days, you know, or like trim your beard every day. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying you should do the basics really well, right? And obviously, you know, I'm not an expert in this stuff. So if you want, for example, fashion tips, go to Google, right? Okay, how to improve my fashion, right? And just understand the basics. So now we get to the most important one, and that's number 4. So this one actually has 80% of the weight of you being an attractive man, right? It's the most important one out of all of them because this is your psychology, right? So we call this the inner game. We have the outer game, which is your communication skills, which is your charisma, which is your strategy, your lines, what you say and stuff like that. And then we have the psychology. Now, what is the psychology, the inner game? That's how you perceive yourself as a man. That's what you think of yourself. That's how you talk to yourself. You know, let's say if a girl rejects you, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Oh, you know, I'm not an attractive person. Oh, this is not for me. You know, all of this kind of stuff, right? Or you say, oh, you know, she just lost an opportunity to speak to a very high value guy. Or, you know, she doesn't even know who she's rejecting because, you know, I'm an extremely attractive person and she just lost out, right? So do you see the difference? The latter will help you as a man because what you're saying is she's the one that lost an opportunity to be with me. So that's going to help you in the long term, and that's going to make you behave differently in a different type of situation. And that's what I was saying before. In terms of like charisma, right? The way you see yourself is perceived by others as charismatic, right? If you think you are the shit, then other people will think that too, right? So this is actually something to remember. The way you perceive yourself is how other people perceive you. So let me ask you this question. How would you rate yourself right now out of 10, right? And I don't mean externally, like the way you look or anything like that, or how much money you have. What I'm talking about is actually your personality, you know, how you walk, how you talk, right? All of that stuff. What would you rate yourself out of 10? So now let's move on to the next one, and that's social freedom, right? How free are you as a person when it comes in social situation? You know, let's say you're in a coffee shop, right? And you want to start a conversation with a girl, and there's about 50 people around her, right? Are you able to do that and handle that social pressure? Because that's in the game, right? That means you don't care about other people around you. That means that you as a man, you can handle social pressure, and that's extremely attractive, right? That's what women love. A man that doesn't really care about what someone thinks of him, because he knows who he is, right? That's never going to change. Who you are as a man, that's never going to change. It doesn't matter if someone has a certain view of you, or you know, if you do an approach and you make fun of yourself, and you know, you don't know what to say in a situation and you completely fuck it up. That's not going to change you as a man, right? And that's what I was going to say. Someone that has extremely good in the game is sure about themselves, right? So they can handle social pressure, and they don't really care about what other people think of them. This is extremely important. By the way, guys, I have a new channel on OnlyFans, and I wanted you to subscribe to this because I have my best content on there, right? So I want you to really learn when it comes to the in the game side of things. So make sure that you do subscribe to my very secret channel, and I'll see you there. Yeah, now that brings us to the end. What I was going to say is, right now you might not be a 10 in terms of your charisma, communication skills, and everything I talked about in this video. But what I want you to think of yourself is as a 10 all the time. When you're out, when you're approaching, when you're talking to, you know, your colleague, your family, your friends, whatever, I want you to imagine yourself as a 10. Because remember what I said before, how you perceive yourself as a man is how people will perceive you, right? So I want you to always be thinking yourself as a 10, right? Because right now, think about it, you're watching this video, and that puts you in the 0.01% of guys out there that are trying to improve themselves, right? So that in itself puts you ahead of almost everyone else, right? So why wouldn't you see yourself as a complete alpha, as a complete 10, right? And go out there and kill it.